One of my very favorite things about a choir is not only to hear them, but to watch them. Do you not see upon their faces the light of love, of joy, of happiness that always brings tears to my eyes? And truly, I believe that that's part of what spiritual community is about. It becomes this place and this space where we can come into a sanctuary and to a place to congregate, and that we come together, we're drawn here together, one to another, because of a vibratory field. We are all vibing together, that it is based upon the thoughts and the beliefs and the desire of our heart. That something brings this community together in this way and has done so for decades. That as you look upon the campus, as you look out these windows, as you look at one another, is it not continuously changing? It's continuously being made new. And just as we breathed in and breathed out during our prayer, every breath is unique. And every breath connects us with those who have breathed in and breathed out, those particles and molecules and whatever it is that's in the air, and it like connects us, but really it's just an outer demonstration and an outer happening that reflects our inner connectedness. And so I'm so very grateful to have this opportunity to be on a particular journey with a group of people that come to Unity Naples and are dedicated to a spirit of truth, a teaching, a philosophy, a practical Christianity, if you will, because we definitely are a Christian denomination, but we're a new thought Christian denomination in which we regard and look at the one named Jesus as the way shower, as the teacher who showed us the way of how to walk in this experience. And we're coming upon the time in which we will celebrate one of the pinnacles, one of the high holy days in our particular calendar year called Easter, called the Resurrection. And this past Wednesday started the Lenten season. And so our theme during this Lenten season is called Mind Fast, Soul Feast. And those of you who have come from a Christian denomination are familiar with Lent, but we do it a little bit differently here, or this time around. And while in the past we may have fasted from outer things, fasted, for instance, maybe from a favorite food or from chocolate, or fasted by eliminating or abstaining from something in our lives that was represented by form or activity or behavior. What we do here is we do a mind fast. That everything in our teaching being metaphysical is about the consciousness that we bring. And so this is a season of a mind fast. And the mind fast, what are we doing? We're doing what we continuously teach. We're turning away. We're denying that which is not true. That which could be called illusion. That which is false. And the proper use of denial is not to deny yourself of something good, but to deny the power that we give to outer circumstances and form. So an example of that, last week we were spinning plates, weren't we? We were busy in the world, and we had all of these plates that we believed that we were spinning. And one of them might be career, and one of them might be relationship, and one of them might be financial. And we get to spinning plates in our human experience because we have misbelieved where our power and our safety comes from. And so we think that we have to toil and spin in order to be safe. And we toil and spin things of the outer world rather than turning within. And so our fasting is fasting from a belief system that mistakes conditions and effect, the news, the circumstances, what's happening in the world, what somebody said to us, what we think they did to us. We are denying that any of that has power over us. We're denying the power of the perception of death. We're denying the power of the perception of disease as having power over the essence of who we are. Because the essence of who we are is untouchable. It is untouchable. You can't add or take anything away from it, ever. Why? Because we are as God created us. Say, I am as God created me. I am as God created me. I am as God created me. So we're fasting from the world of appearances being caused, and we're being revolutionary. We're turning to God. We're turning to light. We're turning to spirit, to source, and we're connecting consciously, and we're affirming truth. We're affirming statements of truth, like I am as God created me. And what might that be like? I am eternal. I am free. I am unlimited. I am a Christ. Take a breath on that one. Who? Me? Who but you? It's time to let Jesus off the hook. Jesus, man, he carried it for a long time. He's pointed the way, and we love him. He's our brother, and he became the Christ to show us that that is what we are to do as well. And so to affirm those things is not blasphemous. It's actually blasphemous to deny the power and the brilliance with which we were created. That's blasphemous. That's judging God as not being good enough to create something magnificent as the Christ of your being. But here's something more. We broached this in one of my classes this week, but God didn't create us as a body. God didn't create you as form. So we're not talking about the body here. We're talking about the eternal nature of your being that is projecting a body so that you could come and play in Earth School and go on a journey of remembering again who you are. And the Earth School that you have selected is perfect for you. Man, I know you want to say, it is not. I would have never called this forth. But you got to trust something higher than you, higher than your current human consciousness knows the perfect curriculum for you. Such that your life, just as it is and just as it is not, is perfect, as are you. You're not behind that point of perfection. You're not advancing toward it. You're there right now. Take a breath. But, the mind is saying, but, what about this? What about that? No, take that breath. Perfect now. Not in your humanness, in your Christedness. And so we fast from the ideas that we're human first. We're having a human experience. Yeah. I cop to that for sure, but I chose it. Or something that knew better did. And I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to allow it, and I'm just going to try to believe what the Fillmores taught. I'm just going to try to act as if I actually believe, and I'm going to start affirming the truth. And that's your feasting. We're going to be feasting on principles of truth. We're going to have an abundance. A table is set before you already. It's set before you every week here, through your brothers and sisters that come here, through the lovely ladies and gentlemen that serve us food and open the doors for us, and the board that actually makes sure that this place operates and runs for us, and the staff and the people that make sure that it's a beautiful sanctuary for you to come. And it's not to puff ourselves up, but it's to be a sanctuary and a place of respite in the world. So we're fasting from illusion and nightmares and dreams, and we're feasting on the principles of truth and spirit, as the Fillmores did, that we dedicate ourselves to the spirit of truth. We're not just dipping our toe in. Okay, you can dip your toe in if you want, but you will get more if you dive right in. And I can tell you, the water's really great. It gets turbulent sometimes, because as Mark alluded to, sometimes walking the talk is hard. And that's when people skedaddle right out the door and down the road. Now, we had somebody who was just on their merry old way trying to go home. Where's Gary? Gary comes on campus, and he represents, like so many people, comes on campus, and he's in service. And he thinks the day is done, and he walks down the road to go home. And somebody picked him up and brought him right on back here. There was more. And he took that ride. This is a magnetic field that we are drawn to right now. So we've covered what Lent is about. Lent is our preparation to rise in consciousness to be that Christ. So nobody's saying you got to do it right now, although you can. And right now, take another breath. And right now. And we're just going to practice every day. And so we have this group where we're reading together, Keep a True Lent by Charles Fillmore. And every day at 7 a.m., I don't know what I was thinking. I said to myself, well, something said to myself, it's like, okay, you're going to do this. And it's going to be at 7 a.m. every morning, and you're going to be super cash, and you're just going to sit on a Zoom, and you're going to invite people to come. You're not going to put any makeup on. All right, well, I did a little. But nobody has to know that, except I guess you do now. But maybe tomorrow I won't. It's a come as you are party. And you can show your picture if you want, or not, and you can just tune in and listen. But it's a spiritual practice. I spoke with somebody yesterday who said, I mentioned it's on YouTube, and you can go see it if you missed it. And they said, no, I really feel that it's important for me during this Lenten season to be in a discipline that's a little uncomfortable for me. This is a time to call forth your growing edge. What am I hanging on to? What am I not willing to let go of? And we take that, and we don't walk alone, but we walk together to the altar. And we place that on the altar. The idea, the limiting idea that you keep trying to deny, but you just don't feel it. The affirmation that you speak, but you just don't really believe it about yourself. The pattern that you've been practicing in this life experience that becomes the thing that drags you down. the heaviness, that repeating pattern. Oh, here it is again. I was just about to fly, and something's holding me back. I don't even know what it is, maybe. But together, we're going to support one another to turning and putting it upon the altar. The altar. The altar in the church. All of this is symbolic, my friends. We happen to abide in this particular church for this particular time. And some have been here before who are gone, and others come back, and others who are new that we've never seen will come. And it's an ebb and a flow, and your separate mind is going to want to judge who's not here, who is here, why are they gone, where did they go, does it mean something about us? And we're just going to trust that this ebb and flow of divine beings that are coming here now and who have ever been here, it has been perfect for their and our growth, development, and unfoldment in this earth school that we're in. We're going to trust. We're going to trust that curriculum. And we're going to become aware during this season of that which is the drag upon our trajectory. Take a breath with me. I want to share a couple things with you about the concept of an altar that I think is transformative. Take a breath again with me because I need another one. And I'm just asking you to be with me. This is from The Way of Mastery, from The Promise in the very beginning of the book. The Way of Mastery, in my opinion, is a channeled work of Jesus' voice now, speaking to us, clarifying what was done in the name of religion about him, and tweaking it to its original message that's relevant now, in this culture, in this day and age. And this is what he says in the beginning. It's a promise. Promises are like, if you do this, then this is what's going to happen. It says, if you become holy, W-H, holy, all in, committed to awakening from the dream you've dreamt, and if your one desire, your just one desire, is to be only what God created, then lay at the altar of your heart with every breath, everything you think you know. Yeah, I said that. Everything you think you know, everything you think you need, and look lovingly upon every place that fear has made a home in your mind. And allow correction to come. Allow correction to come. You see, all we have to do is to be willing to let it go. All we have to do is be willing to place it upon the altar. And the altar is that space, that place at the center of our being in a church, which is called, or literally means the Lord's house. Now, we pretend for a while it's a structure. And some have taught it's the body. The temple, the body of the Most High. But we are elevating in consciousness, and I'm here to point to The church is the church of mind, of consciousness, of heart, of that oneness. And it is that which projects the image of the body, the image of the curriculum we're in, the image of the church that we sit in, that our teaching is that everything comes from the invisible to the visible. And so the church being the Lord's house is your consciousness. And the Lord in our teaching means our I am consciousness. That aspect that becomes our full attention and appreciation, the Christ of our being, where that consciousness and only that consciousness rules and leads and is our focus and appreciation. It's the ruling consciousness. It's in charge. The I am is in charge. Say, the I am is in charge. The Christ of my being is in charge. I thought you were in charge. I thought I was in charge. Get out of town. Let your shoulders drop. There is that aspect within you that is in charge, is large and in charge, and knows what it's doing. And that's what we surrender to. A Course in Miracles. Now let's go to Charles first. Charles Fillmore says an altar is stable. It's stable, it's fixed, and it's a place of worship. And it's where we meet the Lord, the ruling I am consciousness of our being, and we are willing to release the lower for the higher. This is the humbling, the humility. This is the, I don't know. I'm going to release what I think I know, what I think I need, and all the places where fear's made a home in me. How do I know when fear's made a home in me? I'm agitated. I'm angry. So all those places where fear has made a home in me. And A Course in Miracles says, a church is where an altar is. And the presence of the altar is what makes it holy. The presence of that altar within your consciousness, that intersection of the human and the divine, and you place it upon that altar with your intentionality and your willingness, it makes it holy. It says, a church that does not inspire love has a hidden altar that is not serving the purpose for which God intended. We are all here to serve the purpose of love. For those following the daily reading, Charles Fillmore writes about following your desire. Funny, Jesus in The Way of Mastery says the same thing. Funny, the Bible, Holy Scripture, says the same thing. Follow love. Follow the heart. It leads the way. It points the way. And sharing more of Fillmore, in the silence, go before the altar and lay your problems before the Lord. The altar is that place in consciousness where you are willing to let go of the lesser for the greater and let go of personality. I know it's cute and it's fun, but Spirit will use your cuteness and your personality in a glorified way that serves. Place the body upon the altar, and Spirit will use the body in ways that will glorify love and enrich the experience of our brothers and sisters. Place that intellect that we're so fond of upon the altar and let it alter and transform it, clarify it, such that you are a clear channel for the voice of God. That's what we're doing this Lenten season. A Course in Miracles says, the miracles reawaken the awareness that spirit, not the body, is the altar of truth. This is the recognition that leads to healing. So we take a breath. You know, I don't know, growing up Catholic and growing up in the way that I did, sometimes altars were scary. And they were always elevated, and only certain people were allowed to approach them. Hogwash. Get thee behind me. I deny that. That's illusion. I don't even like being 3 steps up here. I much prefer that I'll get in trouble, but there's no light down here, but I much prefer this. I much prefer unity in the round. I much prefer being able to see you and to feel you more closely, because here's the deal. I'm walking the path with each one of you, and I fall sometimes. And I'm counting on you to be loving and gentle and forgiving with me. Because we are brothers and sisters. We're walking together. Hand in hand, walking each other home, singing each other home, leading each other home, creating each other home, presencing each other home. The scripture connected with this particular reading, called the altar, is in Matthew. It's in Matthew, and it says, before you go to the altar, release the angst that you have with your brother and sister. Let it go. Don't come to the altar if there's something lingering about a brother or a sister. If you are harboring anger in your heart. Now, I say go ahead and put that anger on the altar, because I say that willingness to let it go is what leads to the miracle, which is the transformation of heart, to know that all is well and all is good. But the part of the quote, it's Matthew 5:20. Oh man, I forgot my glasses. The number's really small. But it says this: if you remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gifts. If you go to the altar and you remember, my brother, my sister has something against me, which also means you got something against them, leave your gift there before the altar and go. Just go. It does say leave your gift. Leave it first, then go. First become reconciled with your brother or sister, and then come and offer your gift. Come to terms quickly with your accuser, which is only ever yourself. Come to terms quickly with yourself while you are on the way to court. Ever been on the way to court? Ever been, listening to your argument in your mind? Imagining what they're going to say in court and what the judges are going to say and what the prosecutor's going to say and your defendant. So come to terms quickly with your accuser while you are on the way to court with him, or your accuser may hand you over to the judge. Here comes the judge, and the judge to guard, and the guard will throw you in prison. Truly, I tell you, you will never get out until you have paid the last penny. Oh, I got to end this. Woo! We're paying the last penny, my friends, and it's uncomfortable sometimes, isn't it? You want to hang on to that, don't you? It's what makes us right, doesn't it? Hogwash. I've never done hogwash before. Hogwash is my deny. Get thee behind me. Oh, Satan. Oh, mistaken thought. Oh, illusion. I better go to you. I want you to look at your brothers and sisters. I go to you and I ask forgiveness for whatever I may have done, for whatever you think I may have done. Man, I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. I love you. I have to get there. I have to get there before I go to this altar. Well, once I go to the altar. Oh my God, this is a dead end. What happened over here? Anyway, I got to make my way to that altar. I'm going to go to the altar. We're going to go to the altar together. It's Lenten season. We're going to go to the altar together. And we're going to place our gift there, no matter what it is, whether it's love or cries for love. And we're going to reconcile with each other. Because in doing so, we reconcile with ourselves. Take a breath with me. And to the self we say, in the energetic of Ho'oponopono, I forgive you. Forgive the self. We forgive ourselves. I love you. Man, you picked a hard curriculum, my love. But beloved, it's all about to shift. It's all about to change. I forgive you. I love you. Thank you. I love you. I think I'm forgetting one. I'm sorry. Forgive me, I'm so sorry. I forgot. I forgot myself, my higher self. Thank you, I love you. Take a breath. Now I want you to look at your neighbor and just take a breath with them. Allow the body eyes to see the essence of who they are and to see them. I forgive you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.